So in the first step, you need to create the star schema and output these tables in PostgreSQL. And you need to actually create 6 tables, 1 factor table and 5-dimensional table. And you should remember to first create the dimensional table and then create the factor table. You may be remember that the one a question in the exercise is to identify whether we should create the fact table or the dimensional table first. So this is very important because we need to create the sales factor table using all this dimensional table to join them, to make a relation, to make a primary key and a foreign key join relationship in this star schema. So some student feedback that there is a row with some non-values in the for example, the cost dim ID equals 1. So if you want to remove this row, you can just create a SQL executor after this step. To do that, you can in the design tab and in the scripting, and you just create a execute SQL script, right? And connect these 2 steps and double click this. And you need to also specify the connection to the database in PostgreSQL, and then you can write the SQL scripts like that. In this example, I delete the row with the cost dim ID equals 1 in the cost dim ID, and you need to check these 2 options and get fields. After you click get fields, you will see the fields. You get the fields in this cost dim ID table, and you can say that cost dim ID is a primary key and a surrogate key in this table. So after you run this transformation, you can download the custom table into the PostgreSQL and create a dimensional table. And I guess, and finally, you need to create the fact table based on all this 5-dimensional table. And some point I want to mention is that some people said that they cannot import the data. This is because you need to focus on the data types, especially for the data type. Let me give you an example, such as in the, see. So, for example, in the sales representative CS file, there is a column called high date. So you need to specify the type as date, right? And you need to specify the format based on the original format in this file. So this is very important. If you cannot specify the correct format, you may have problems to load this data into the table. And after you create the after you import this star schema in PostgreSQL, then you can use the schema workbench to create a OLAP cube. I guess I have recorded these details in the last video. So to create a cube, you can use the options, or just right click on the schema, add cubes, and add some measures, such as the mount and select the aggregator and the column. Here I create 2 measures, right? And you need to add a table that is a sales fact table, right? And you need to create 5 customer dimension usage, and this usage you will link to the dimension that you created. For example, here I create a dimension called customer dimension, and in this dimension I create a hierarchy called country, called customer region hierarchy. So here's a level called country, and the country is from the custom dim ID table, and using the column custom country ID, and you need to pay attention to the type of this field, and I also create several other dimension called data dimension, and after you create this custom dimension, for example, in this dimension usage, you can select the source. It will show all the dimensions that you created. Then you can select the custom dimension, and after you create the OLAP cube, you can publish it into the Pentaho server, right? Oh yeah, yes. First, you need to check when you open this schema workbench, you need to make a connection to the PostgreSQL where you store the star schema table, right? And you can simply use the JDBC Explorer to check whether you have made a correct successful connection. You can say that I have connected to the star schema, and here it shows the 6 tables that I created using the PDI software. And finally, you can just publish because yeah, let me first. You can click this publish. Please select the main before. Yeah, schema. Let's click the schema and click publish. Because I have already published this schema, so I will not publish it again in the Pentaho server. So finally, you will say a window like that, and you can just specify name in the data source in Pentaho server. You can say here I specify name as order DW. So you will say this name in the Pentaho server later. And finally, you can click publish. You will publish this OLAP cube into this server. That this is the address of the Pentaho server. I will cancel this. And after you publish, you can log into the Pentaho server, and this is the user console of this interface. And in the interface, you can, for example, you can check whether we have published the OLAP cube correctly. You can just click the manage data source. Sorry, it is little. You can say that in the data source column, here I have the order DW, which I published before, and the type is analysis. And before you publish in the OLAP cube, you need to create a database connection here. And for example, you can click this button and create a new connection and specify this the name and the database type and the settings. Here I will cancel that. And you need to create a connection that you connect to the star schema that you created before. And after that, after you publish in the OLAP cube, you need to edit this analysis before you do the further analysis. You also need to click this button and click edit. And in the edit, click the select from available data source and choose the data source as this connection that we created. So by doing this, you actually connect your OLAP cube to this star schema, which are stored in the PostgreSQL, right? So, and the final step is to do the analysis based on the OLAP cube and the star schema. To do that, you can click Create New and click Circuit Analytics. And in this interface, you need to select a cube. You can say that we need to select the cube. The name of the cube is sales cube. So we can check the name. Let's go back to schema workbench. Sorry. So you can say that in this schema, there is a OLAP cube called sales cube, which is created before, and we publish this cube into the Pentaho server, right? So this is after we select the cube, you can see the measures that we created before. We create 2 measures, and you can drag these measures into this window. And then you need to specify the columns and the rows to do the analysis. For example, we can select the cities as the rows, and after you drag the dimension in the rows, you will see the results are shown in this area. You can see that the amount sold in each city in the 6 years. And if you want to say the city and add a dimension in the year, you can just click the date dimension, right? This is the usage that we created before, year, month, day, and you just drag the year to the columns. And you can see that now it gives more details about which city sold how many products in the 3 years. And you can also add more columns to this this area. For example, you can add a month. After the year, and it will give more details, like in each month, how much the amount are sold. This shows the 3 years, right? And of course, in the rows, you can also add the, for example, let's delete that, and let's say what is the amount sold in each category, product category. Let's drag the category into this area, and you can say that let's delete. And you can say that the rows is the product category, and the column is the date dimension with the year and the month hierarchy. And it shows in this table, it shows the amount sold in each month of each product category. And you can add the parent category into this, and it will add more. It will just like a roll up, right? Roll up to the let's delete the category and just remain the parent category, right? It's just like a roll up operation on the OLAP cube, right? And finally, you can select all the dimensions that you created in the schema workbench, and there are these cycle analytics actually provide many options for you to report your results. You can select, for example, you can select using the chart mode to illustrate the analytics results. For example, you can use in the bar chart and the line chart, the pie chart, and there are many different options for you to select. And here actually is a chart analysis tools that you can use by using the marketplace, because I just installed this and I didn't restart my Pentaho server, so these tools didn't show here. If you restore your Pentaho server after you install the Circle Analytics chart tools, it will provide more options to illustrate the results. And here you can say there are many options. For example, you can export the. Let's go back to this format. For example, you can export the results into a Microsoft Excel format, or create a report using the PDF file. And in this exercise, we recommend you to use the Circle Analytics tools to create an analysis report using the OLAP cube created in the Pentaho schema workbench. And you need to create a report, and you can choose this chart to illustrate your results. And you can create a PDF report using this button. So in the second, I modified the exercise, and I delete the MDX query languages. Why? Because I think it is too simple. Because the MDX query just specifies the row name and the column name and the measures. It has the same functions in the Circle Analytics. So I delete the exercise about the MDX query. You just need to create the OLAP cube using this workbench, schema workbench, and publish your cube into the Pentaho server for the further analysis. So this is all about the first part. Do you have any questions about how to generate the star schema, create the OLAP cube, and conduct the analysis? You can post your questions on the chat, or just unmute yourself to ask questions. Okay, if there are no questions, we can move to maybe we can simply introduce the second part of this exercise. Actually, the second exercise in the second part, we will not use I see some questions. How to create the sales week of quarter. Yeah, do you mean this one? Yes, actually you need to study. You need to go study further in this transformation, right? And in the calculate additional fields, you can actually add a new fields. You can specify name and select the calculation type here, right? And for the week of the quarter, you need to do some calculations. If you cannot find the direct answer in this list, so this is maybe as I said, you need to study based on your understanding. So I think it's very simple. You can search on the Google. There are many examples. I will not tell you if I tell you it is too easy for you to complete this exercise. Okay, let's go back to the second part of this exercise. So in the second part, we will not use those tools like the PDI or the schema workbench or the psychoanalytics or the Pentaho server. We only use the PostgreSQL to conduct the analysis using the SQL query. So the first question is to the full start join. So we require you to write the join SQL join using 3 different ways. So the first is using the work loss to specify the join condition, right? So the second is actually a new standard in the SQL. It will not use the work loss to specify the join condition. It will use a linear join operation. For example, this we will join the T1 table with T2 on this condition. And the third one is to use using keywords. For example, we can join T1 with T2 using a field ID, a field called ID. So this, if you want to use this ways to do the join, you must make sure that the 2 tables have the same field ID that that are conduct the join. So this is the first question. And the second question is a top inquiry. And you need to use 2 different methods. The first is to use a group by, order by, and limit. For example, you can limit 3 to select the top 3. And the second one is to use the window function, such as use the rank function, rank operator to retain the top 3 customers with these conditions. And the last 5 questions are about how to create OLAP cube and conduct some OLAP operations. So first, you need to create a build OLAP cube, and using the cube operator, right? And I need you to specify how many combinations of these dimensional attributes. So if you can calculate the number of combinations, you can use the union and the group by keywords to perform the OLAP cube, which has the same results using the cube keywords. So in the second part, you are not to ask you not to use the cube keywords. Instead, you need to use the union and the group by. And the third is to compare this.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. I see one question about this. Yeah. He asked, how can you make a combination with union instead of using cube? Yeah. This actually is SQL question.
Yes. Union just to make a set operation about different SQL query, right? For example, you can union 2 the results have 2 SQL.
Yeah, then you can combine their results together. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can check the PostgreSQL documentation, or just check any textbook about the SQL language. And the next one is about the pivot table. And this is by using the pivot table, we provide a different view of the OLAP analysis. So you can check these 2 links about this exercise. And I think the last 4 questions are simple. You just create some OLAP cubes and do some operations. So I guess this is all about first hands-on session, and the deadline for the hands-on session is April 14th. So any other questions about this hands-on session? So I want to query how many of you have successfully created the star schema and load the data into the PostgreSQL. If you have created a star schema, you can type 1 in the chat, and if you have questions, you can type 2 in the chat, and I will see how many of you have problems. Because this is the first step. If you cannot create the star schema, you cannot complete the second part. I see only one person have successfully created the star schema. So what is your questions or problems when creating the star schema? If you have questions, you can ask, or you can post your questions in the Telegram group, and I will answer your questions. Okay, if there are no questions, maybe we can end this meeting.
Excuse me, I had a problem with in the conversion of order date when it reads it from CSV file. I have correct format, but it says that it cannot convert string to that date format.
Do you mean the orders CSV file? This one?
Yes.
Yes. So you can check these options. First, you need to specify the name, file name. You can use a absolute parse or a reference parse, and you need to check the delimiter. And have you modified the type of the order date as date type and modify the format as this one?
Yes, I actually posted yesterday the error message that I got from the kettle.
And if you click preview, can you see the results? For example, you can.
No, I don't get that. I get an error message that it says that it cannot convert that date to that format.
Can you share your screen? Maybe we can say your files. I can say your settings of the files.
Yeah, I will start.
Okay.
Sharing.
Let's stop. Let me stop mine.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I have this format, and if I click preview,
yeah,
it says couldn't convert string to date using format.
Okay. You can close this window. Let me go back to the software. Yeah, let me check. So I don't know. Maybe you can send your your transformation file to me. Then I can check the files for you, because I don't know what is the problem.
Do you have an extra M on your format? Is it supposed to be 3 M's?
Extra M. So it only 2 M's.
No, it should be 3 M's. Kind of the month is given with the 3 letters. So kind of Jan, Feb, Mar, and so forth.
Okay.
So you gotta have a 3 M's there.
Axel, I did send you in email this
Okay.
transformation file, so you should find it on your inbox. You want to check it out.
Okay, I will answer these questions after this meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions?
On this case, there was, if I recall, one other person in a Telegram group that mentioned that having this conversion problem as well, and I think she, well, rebooted the machine or something and closed all the software, and I don't know if she did something else and then it started working. It sounds a bit weird, but maybe, I don't know if you have tried that one. Typical blue screen reboot, try it again.
Yeah, I tried to boot it every
Yeah. Yes, this is a common question. You can reboot your machine and restart this software to see if it works.
Yeah, I tried that, but it didn't help.
Okay, any other questions?
Okay, yes, if you have no questions so far, yes, then I will close this session. Yeah, and we will see you next Wednesday. Yeah, for the NoSQL database. Yeah, I will talk about the NoSQL database. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, and see you next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.